Welcome to Backlog Breakdown, the show where we have a backlog of games and we are breaking them down one episode at a time. And it's it. This is the time. We are finishing up Sly Cooper, Devious Raccoonus.
Final
chapter.
Final chapter, yep.
Cold Heart of Hate.
Dude, that title goes hard.
It goes really hard compared to all the other titles. Yeah, this is it, guys. Are we ready to wrap it up? Oh, by the way, before I continue any further, once again, I'm joined by my friends Aiden.
Hey.
And Luis.
Hello.
We've made it this far.
Yeah,
We're
man.
at the final gauntlet.
Exciting.
Can we make it? Are we going to survive? Will Sly Cooper get all the pages of Devious Raccoonus? Will he avenge his parents who died?
I don't think his parents. There was never a mom mentioned, which I don't understand.
I think on some wiki it said parents. So, but yeah, the game itself only talked about his dad. I think.
Yeah.
Dang. That's dark.
Anyways, so some revenge going on here. Part of the hard title probably. But yeah, let's jump into this intro cutscene. Another cool cartoon, and we get a drop of intel, some lore that we've got this creature. The main bad guy he's been sneaking in all the backgrounds of all the previous Sly Coopers or all the previous Coopers. Can't remember. They have different first names, but he's been there from the start, from the beginning.
Yeah, man, he's trying to like wipe you out, man.
Arch
Trying to wipe out your
nemesis.
family name.
He's been trying for a while, apparently, and this is the time maybe where he thought he'd do it for sure.
Yeah, he's just trying to take up all that thieving real estate.
That's right. He's trying to get all the Cooper money. But yeah, it's how do we feel about this intro?
I mean, Russia's confirmed. We're going to Russia, and I don't know. Is Clockwork like is
It doesn't tell
the
us
bird
anything.
itself the bad guy, or is the bird an invention of the bad guy, and is he talking through the bird?
My impression was that the bird was originally a normal bird, and over the years he's like
we didn't get a whole lot of back
himself.
Yeah,
we
didn't get a backstory on him at all.
True,
except that he just anti-Cooper.
He did. They do say we'll get to the end. He does say he's lived for like hundreds of years, though. I think at some point.
Yeah. I think towards the end we do get a little bit more, but at the beginning we get absolutely nothing. There's a bird.
Just that he's been there. Whoever he or it is has been there the whole time.
Which I thought that was pretty cool. I thought it was like oh, actually, if you do go back and look at them, you can actually see it in every single one. I was like, I
was always like, what is that? Why is there just some random shadow in the background? Now we know.
Very subtle. It was nice. But yeah, no, we have no idea what's going on.
But yeah, right after that, we're jumping in, and it's immediately obvious that this is a different structure than the previous chapters.
Yeah, it's just one big.
There's no like little intro level that you run through.
Yeah, you're right. It's just one big set of levels after a level, kind of going after each other.
And we get we figure out what the turret is going to be used for, the modifications to the van that happened in the last chapter. So now, Sly, we're starting on the back of the getaway van.
Yeah, I'll say a lot of transitions from the levels were a little awkward. Like this one right here, I'm like, you're just kind of cruising in the van. And then I'm like, okay, Murray's going to tell me what to do, what's going on. And then I have written down here, Murray barely finishes dialogue, immediately dies. Like he's like still talking, and then I like hit the mines, because I didn't know like if it was like I don't know, maybe I don't know how that went for y'all, but I was like, wait, what's going on? Boom.
Yeah, it may have been some kind of bug. Yeah, I don't remember him getting cut off or not, but yeah, we got some mines, and we got some other birds. Are they eagles or falcons?
What did he call them?
Said falcons.
Yeah, he called them something. I don't know.
Robo Falcons. Yes, we have
Okay.
it in the notes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're trying to the goal. We're trying to get to the Death Ray, Clockwork's little tower, and we're driving through the cliffs, and there's lava in this volcano land, but I guess it's Russia. And there's booby traps.
Yeah. What happened? What happened to Russia, dude?
It blew up, man.
It's Mordor now, man.
Yeah, it's just Mordor.
Good Lord.
So what did we think about this section?
I thought it was cool. I thought it was like it's like a rail shooter kind of deal. I thought it was fine. As soon as I inverted the controls, it was great.
I hated this.
Hated it?
I
Did you?
hated it. So
Just this part, or
just this was the worst.
okay.
This was definitely the worst.
Okay.
I don't know what it was, but for some reason, the aiming for this was awful. I would shoot, and nothing would happen. I was like, okay, well maybe I'm off. So then I'd try and pivot or something, but no, I don't know. I couldn't figure it out. Yeah. So I struggled with the birds.
Like hitting them?
Yeah, like
the
actual hitting,
pulse
like
thing?
you actually, you have your target,
Yeah.
the circle or whatever that was there. So like I'd always try it. Yeah, it just for some reason it wouldn't hit.
Yeah, you'll see in mine me struggling a little bit. I found that when they get close enough, that's when it was easiest to hit them. I feel like maybe there's like a delay because you're not really shooting bullets, you're shooting like missiles, which is another weird thing. I guess there's some weird like almost not, I guess not censorship, but like weird decisions they made to like not make it as violent or
Yeah.
mature or whatever.
Yeah.
Like instead of bullets, we're just gonna shoot rockets, which I
these
guess is somehow
cartoon
more
rockets.
cartoony.
Yeah.
But I think they have a delay. Like
Well, I
you
had
shoot
issues
it-
with everything, but the
Everything.
birds were definitely the worst.
right.
But
Yeah.
like, I don't know if the hitboxes for stuff were shifted down
That might
or something.
be it. Because that was another thing I noticed with like the mines. Like, you shoot one mine, it'll blow up the other mines, but it felt like I was having to shoot
I don't know.
just about individual mines.
Yeah.
I don't think it. Yeah, I don't think mine. I don't think it would cascade like that. I think I'd have to blow
Yeah, that's
up
what I
every
was saying.
single.
That's what I was saying. It was
Yeah.
like it's weird. It was like you'd think you do one and it would kill the clump, but
Yeah.
you had to like.
And then there was a couple you just could ignore. Is also what I realized.
Yeah, you could go past.
Yeah. It's like.
Then the rocks coming down.
Yep.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
So I mean, I didn't enjoy it because it was a little buggy and I couldn't figure out what was wrong with it.
Yeah, this is kind of an overarching thing, but it feels like they were like, okay, we got to wrap this up.
Yeah.
I don't think we can do it the
Yeah.
way we were doing it. I think it works though, overall, but we'll talk about that.
No.
I thought it was a good idea. I just
Yeah.
wish it was cleaner. I don't know. Maybe it might have been. Sounds like it was just me that had issues
Yeah.
with the
I didn't
shooting.
have too much issues. I did have trouble hitting the birds, but I didn't fail, I guess. I didn't get hit, I don't think. Until like
see,
the very end.
I think I gamed over on this section.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah. It
yeah,
was-
no, there's a section later.
No, yeah, I was having so much issues. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
we'll talk
was-
about that.
But
Okay.
it was okay. Like, yeah, that was quick, and then Bentley's
Yeah.
in the van, and at the very end, we have the missile with a turret gun for only one level, and it's like
Yeah.
you're driving too close. Let's
Yeah.
gotta take it off.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And then we transition right into the next level. No, no Sly getting his feet wet yet.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Still in the car.
yeah. The arena,
Yeah.
death arena with the van,
Burning rubber.
burning rubber. Yeah.
This
might be
minigame.
the weirdest amalgam of
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
It also didn't make any sense.
That's exactly what I was
Yeah.
talking about. It's just like fire slimes, computers.
Yeah, just computers dropping from the ceiling, hitting the ground, and you're supposed to crash into them, and you have to get enough computers to like open the door.
Yeah.
What is it?
I felt like that could have been thematically.
Yeah,
a
getting the
little-
computers to get the information
To open the door.
to infiltrate the base.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and then there's these slugs, these fire slugs. They're like, I love computers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat these computers.
Yeah. Then I found out you can just
Oh, yeah,
yeet
you
them
can-
off the
yeah.
stage
Oh, you
and
didn't-
stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Dude, I was focusing more on that than trying to get all the computers.
Yeah,
I
at
was
one
like,
point I was doing that too much probably instead of just finishing it. But
Yeah.
There was also a counter for the slugs though. So was the idea you had an amount you could get rid of and then you fail or what?
Oh, I don't know. I missed
No,
that.
I think it's just first to 60.
So either get rid of 60 slugs first or
No.
collect the computers?
I think the punching them out is just a way to help you.
Well, there's like a timer or there's a counter for that though. I didn't know what that was. I passed it on the first try, so I never messed with it.
Because I just saw two counters, and then because the slugs are getting the computers.
Right.
Oh, the counter for the slugs is how many computers the slugs
They've
have
got.
Because they're trying to get,
Yeah.
if they get to 60 before you get
Yeah,
to
so
60.
you can do a little bit of keep away at
I
the same
wonder-
time.
I wonder if when you hit them, they can still pick up the computers then. Because it would happen a lot when I would hit them.
They just keep spawning. Like you can knock them back into the lava, but they just keep
Yeah,
spawning.
I feel like they just
so-
died when you hit them. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually, if there's like a clump of 3 or 4 computers, I would just kind of go up and bump that one away, then get them.
Yeah.
I would prioritize
Oh,
the slug.
I
first, yeah.
didn't. I wasn't aiming. I just always just hit.
Yeah, it took me about I think 3 tries for this.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was okay. It wasn't bad. It was
Got
it was
on-
just weird.
Got
Yeah.
on my first try. Those slugs ain't getting my computers.
Yeah.
Yeah, very strange, but yeah.
Mechanically cool, fun-ish. Do we like this better than like the races that you had to do
Yeah.
in Murray's car?
Yeah.
Yeah. I also liked it more than.
Yeah, it's just a one free roam arena.
Yeah.
You know, you don't gotta worry about.
It reminded me of the crab, if anything, from back in
Oh,
Raleigh's
yeah,
world.
yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
Crab level. We'll be
Yeah.
that's a sneak peek for later. We'll be talking about crab later. You guys wait. Just wait.
Can't wait because I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's not really. This is epilogue stuff.
Okay,
So
gotcha,
make some
gotcha.
bonus content,
Okay,
some
okay.
trivia, if you will. And then we get the computers. Banley gets his information. We get through. Now we're going to the next part. Finally playing as Sly, boots on the ground. Just
Damn.
immediately transition though. No hub in here. We're not having any kind of free roam going on here. This is all streamlined. And we need to save Carmelita. She's been captured.
Yeah. Great concept. This is the one I game overed on like
Oh yeah.
almost 3 times. The platforming in this
Yeah.
was so janky for me.
I game over it at least once, maybe twice.
I didn't have issues with this except for one part. The camera was weird.
Camera's weird, and then
when you go vertically, once you get up high, yeah,
yeah. Well, mine was the jumping. So the timing of the circle button. Because like they're long jump. I feel like they're like towards the edge of where you can jump. So I kept like, because usually I would just like jump, apex of the jump, press the circle button, and then you snap in.
yeah.
That wasn't working. I had to jump circle like immediately. I had to start the spin animation like immediately. And it took me forever to figure that out because I was like, oh my gosh, I keep missing the jump.
And you even told me don't use the double jump, I guess. Because I always double jump.
On this part, I don't think I used it.
Yeah, I didn't
So
either. That's a good point, though. I probably should have.
I
remember you're saying it's not really a double jump, I guess.
Yeah, it's more of a camouflaged glide, really.
You're
So
right,
maybe I just
something.
made it harder on myself for no
I
reason.
don't know, but yeah.
Anyway, yeah, the platforming in this was a little off for me.
Yeah, I had issues with the camera when you got vertically for some reason. Or I don't know. I just like it pivoted and I couldn't find out where to go next. So but yeah.
Yeah, I definitely had to try several times. I feel like I did get into a rhythm though at the end. But then either jumping on that first part, and then I got hit. I guess there was a weird part where I got hit by the arrow thing. The statues that are shooting at you, I guess they're shooting the darts. There's one at the top.
Yeah,
where you get
with
around
the shortcut
it and then
that
get
you
the
make
barrel.
her,
Yeah. Spotlights are going
something
crazy
weird
too.
happened. I want to see that footage again, but something weird happened where I got hit and I was like, "What the heck happened?" And I died, so I had to go back. And then going through the lasers through the middle with the barrel, I got caught one of those times and got
Yeah, the spotlights are going
nuts.
yeah. I was trying to figure out if I could just avoid that and use the camouflage that we got, the invisibility.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I feel like that would take forever though, wouldn't it?
I mean, that's the same as the barrel.
You don't have the. You don't have the.
You can't. I don't have the walking
Oh,
camouflage.
yeah.
I just have the invisibility. I don't have that.
So,
You're right. It would be the equivalent to the barrel. I would just literally have to stand there invisible.
I should have tried to use that invisibility. That part.
But once I realized, I just came this way for the barrel, I was like, oh, maybe I should.
Yeah, I
just
thought
go
that was
on-
weird too. I was
should
like,
just-
oh, there's a barrel over here.
maybe I should just try the invisibility thing.
But there were the dart things shooting at you. Do those? Can you be invisible and avoid
I was about to
those?
say.
Or will
Yeah,
they
I
still
don't
shoot
know.
at
As soon
you?
as you get shown, it'll.
Where are they? I don't
Light
know where
you up.
they're at.
They're like waiting. There's 2 posted up right at where you get to Carmelita after the lights.
Yep.
Oh wait, it's after the lights. though.
Yeah, well,
okay,
it's
so
in
yeah,
the
you're getting
lights.
shot
Yeah.
while you're in the barrel going through the lights, like halfway through.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, no, I remember. Maybe you're right. Maybe that's what it would have stopped.
maybe
me.
that's the speed run play. Somehow getting through it without using the barrel. Anyways, pretty short section. Get to her, then you team up.
Yeah, I think it was bad.
Rescue her.
Call a truce.
Yeah, and you're like,
And then that's a trap, and
it's always a trap.
Tries to gas you, but your buddy Bentley, he's got your back.
Bentley level, let's
this
go,
is where he shines.
Oh, yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
I'd never made it this far in the game, so I was like, I guess they just didn't work out the mechanics for one.
But hey, we got it.
We got it, and it
Hacking.
controls like butt. Oh man,
Really?
I still enjoyed it though.
Yeah,
I
it was
enjoyed it because it
fun.
was a Bentley level, but
You had issues?
yeah, it
Very
was just
slidey. I felt like.
yeah, it was very
loose.
slidey. Yeah.
Um,
And I couldn't figure out what caused me to die completely.
yeah, like if you bump into the chunks of the data you're trying to get, like the structures.
Yeah, you'll
those will
revive.
just those you have like
One.
health. But
Yeah.
if you get hit by the red thing, it's like an instant kill.
I've revived
yeah, I
after that too.
revived, but yeah, I didn't fail at it, so I don't know what the actual.
Yeah, and then but there was times where like I literally would go in and get bump the wall or something and just die from that. So it was, I don't know. It was
I know you had like a little health bar.
Yeah, I see the
I
health
didn't
bar,
know how it
and like
worked.
if I bumped the wall with the low health bar, I would revive. But then another time I did, and I died. It was a little weird.
When you say revive, like you'd be on the same level, but just
Yeah, I'd be on the same level. Yeah.
But yeah, you were just
Yeah, he'd like his health bar would run out, and he'd
Yeah.
like have an animation, then he'd
Huh.
pop back up. I don't know. Maybe it's based on your lives outside of the.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
Maybe.
remember.
The only time I
didn't fail.
died was the red shuriken looking
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
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 But
Dude,
I made it
master
through. I
hacker,
didn't have to
dude.
restart. Did you guys have to? Did you make it through without having to restart at all?
Oh no, I had to restart. Yeah, this was the second. This was the second one behind the platforming section. I had to do the most.
I just got I didn't game over, but I did get hit with the red shuriken once.
Yeah.
I found the camera once you got further into the levels more difficult.
Yeah,
It just got crazy. Yeah, once I was like
Yeah.
to get all 7, I think
Oh,
I
yeah,
won.
it was
Yeah.
definitely getting intense. I was
Yeah.
like, I really hope I get this because I don't want to do it again.
yeah.
And then what I tried doing is not breaking everything, just getting the piece out and leaving the small
Yeah.
chunks there because they provide cover from the red shurikens.
It was very bullet hell.
So, yeah.
for sure.
Yeah,
And
I liked it though. I thought it was. Cool.
I liked it.
Yeah,
I,
I'm glad
I
it
liked
exists. We needed a proper Bentley level.
Yeah, hacking mini game.
And I love like the animation. He's just like smashing his keyboard. And that's what's shooting his little.
Yeah,
bullets.
nice little flair where he's like,
Yeah.
as the levels go up, he's like he gets more excited. I don't know. He's like level 4.
was very
It's so
good.
good. So yeah, I enjoyed it, even though it didn't control great. The Bentley level was great.
Yep. So Deus Ex Bentley.
Yeah, dude.
Mhm.
We get him to save us, and so that's when we wake back up and make the truce with Carmelita. And that puts us into we get outside, I guess, and a freaking Robo Falcon steals our cane.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no, is this gonna change the rest of this level? And like, am I gonna have to play like a section without the cane? But
It took me 2 times to figure out what the hell was going on. Like it like the camera was like way zoomed out.
Yeah.
So I thought I was controlling Sly. I was like, oh well, yeah, that's what it was. He just dies.
There's a slug
He
that comes
runs
there
into
right at the beginning.
I thought he ran into the lava, and I'm like, oh, I guess I'm controlling Sly from this
yeah.
wide angle. And
Yeah.
then again, it happened, and I was like, no. And then I'm like, oh,
the reticle.
it's a Carmelita level.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're shooting.
So that took me a couple times to figure out what the heck was going on. But yeah, this one was interesting because it would like distract you with like killing I guess it was like bulbs or something or some kind of glass walls. Or,
Yeah.
But then there was like a slime behind them, so
Yeah.
you gotta it was-
That got me. The camera zoom in got me one time because I couldn't
Yeah.
see the slime coming.
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
just got him like, what was that?
It's one of the hardest enemies in the game. I feel like it's the camera.
But yeah. Another thing we can talk about in the trivia section. That the design of that whole thing.
Okay. But yeah. I was like, oh dang, Carmelita level. I mean, technically,
Yeah. No. Yeah.
So I mean, it's
I
using
mean,
the same mechanics as earlier, but I don't know.
right. It was a
But-
retheming of the previous
Yeah.
mini games he did
Levels.
before.
I thought it was clever.
I liked it. It was the most difficult. The slugs I thought were very aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there was much a shorter, I
Yeah.
guess, span between us. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was fun. It was fun.
I liked it. Yeah.
But yeah, by the end of this level, Sly gets his hook back, so we don't have to worry about
Don't gotta
any
worry about it.
possibility of him not being able to climb on stuff.
No,
So we're good.
no gameplay without the
That's right.
cane.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So then we jump in to the next part where we get Carmelita's jetpack.
We have to
And-
get it. Yeah.
This
This is where we're racing up the hill to get it. This is the,
This is the
where
part,
the
yeah,
lava
before,
is.
yeah.
We're trying to get the jetpack, and it's at the top of this tower or something, but everything's sinking in the lava.
Yep.
This whole structure we're on.
Loved it.
Yeah.
I really like this one too.
Yeah, it was just like a speed run deal, but yeah, it was.
It was
fun.
similar to the one in Miss Ruby's where the snake, or it's just like, but that one had the weird camera.
Yeah,
thing.
this one worked a
This
lot better
one-
for me.
Yes, it was more like a spiral. You were just
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
It was a lot tighter though.
Yeah.
they're
More
definitely.
difficult.
I liked it. Like there was like multiple times where like I do a run, and like I'm like I'm going through this section, and it's like the lava's right
Oh,
below
yeah.
me, and then like the third try or something like that, I'm like, the lava's way down, so I thought it would be like scripted once you get to certain parts, but
Yeah.
no, it's
Yeah.
Oh,
it's timed.
yeah.
So
Yeah, it would have been cool to have a level like this in like the first part with like the water, like maybe a sinking ship or something. You're trying to get to the top of mast. Or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
I
It's
wish
kind
that
of
could've
This
been-
was the first time they did
Like a sinking thing, I think.
something like that, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but like Luis mentioned, the only other similar thing would be like the snake level from the swamp where it's chasing you. Right?
Yeah, but that's the Crash Bandicoot cam, isn't it? Where it's like,
Yeah, where
That's-
we're running.
yeah,
Towards
this was done much better.
And
yeah.
then maybe somewhat similar might be the Carmelita sections where she's shooting at you. But yeah, not
Yeah.
Closest
This
to
one
it.
did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
It was
And then-
much more contained, like you were saying.
Yeah. And this one, I had your issue in regard to actually clicking into my circle, or actually
Really? Yeah.
grappling.
I had it
to-
a couple times. Yeah.
I hit that a couple times, or I would jump too far and then I would grapple to the thing below it, and I was like,
Interesting.
oh well, I'm done.
Yeah, there's a part at the very end where I'm like, where do I go?
Yeah, there's one part where the camera didn't catch up yet, and I just walked off the ledge. It's like,
Yeah.
crap, I didn't know I was supposed to
Yeah,
jump.
yeah. Well, I was like, do I jump right? Left? Like I didn't know, so I just like jumped right, and then the cutscene didn't cut, so I just kept walking, and then it
The first
switched.
time I got up there, I didn't know, so I jumped the opposite, and I jumped on something, and it broke the game.
Yeah, I was about to say you like fall through the level or something.
No, it broke the game. I was like, okay, well, there it goes. Yep. But I liked it. This was very enjoyable.
Yeah, this is probably my favorite favorite section where you're just playing as Sly jumping around, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was good.
Definitely a highlight of the game overall for me as well. But then, yeah, we get the jetpack, and now we get into a jetpack section. We're flying around and fighting Clockwork. Because, yeah, I guess, so what caused the tower to actually start sinking and destroy it so that Clockwork's mad at us to attack us? What
We
actually-
destroyed his death
Was
ray.
that
Death Ray.
But like, what was the section where that actually happened? Was that the Carmelita shooting section where the death ray got blown up?
I think that's what the pillars or the things we were destroying. I thought that was like part of the machine.
Oh, like the power.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
what
I'm
I
just
thought.
trying to keep the whole narrative,
Oh, okay,
this
yeah,
grand
yeah.
narrative in my brain because I know that a lot of thought went into it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. Because immediately after it's like the whole like, oh, okay, you did the thing. Now you
Now
got to
it's sinking,
escape.
you gotta
The
get
escape
out,
part.
yeah.
Yeah. So I think you're right. Yeah.
So we get that, but then Clockwork's like, "You destroyed my tower. I'm going to kill you." Except he sounds cooler than that. He does not sound like a nerd.
Yeah, this is our boss fight.
Yeah.
So yeah, boss fight.
He's got that. He's got that edgy. He was like, I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was
He
like,
says a lot. I don't
Yeah.
know how many times it took you guys to beat it, but there's actually a lot of lines. I feel like they like mixed them up every attempt. Like
Really?
they didn't just recycle the same.
Yeah, I think it's the boss took me 2 attempts.
Yeah, it probably
Same.
took me 4, but I was surprised
Mm-hmm.
every time there was like some little other quip he had.
Yeah.
So-
I think they did a fantastic job on this.
So
boss.
you
I
had
think it's the
your
best.
inverted fix by now.
Yes.
Okay.
I think there was no way.
You still
This one is different because you're controlling with the left stick, right? And
so,
that's like your movement and your aiming.
Yep.
For me, that's fine because you basically just treat it like a cursor on the screen, like
Oh,
down is down
heck
and stuff.
no. That threw me off, and I did not. And then the camera again. Yeah, the camera is probably the worst thing about this so far, because whenever in the first section when you'd fly, as as he spins and you spin, the camera kind of shifts, and it would always push me left, no matter what. It would always just kind of just like force me in one direction, and it kind of would force me to aim differently
Yeah.
too.
It's really interesting hearing different things from y'all too, because we're playing different versions. Because like I don't.
Yeah, I don't know if I had
camera's
that
fine.
same problem.
So it sounds like
Yeah.
like new problems pop up, but some get fixed as
Yeah.
it gets ported. It sounds like.
Yeah, I
So,
don't
but
know.
I It was rough. I was able, I beat on the second try, but it was rough for that first
Yeah.
part. It took me a while just to hit his second wing or one of the wings.
Yeah, the one
Because-
on the far
Yeah.
side.
I had
That
to,
one was hard to get.
I had to dodge like 4 or 5 times. Because
Yeah, I had to like
couldn't.
do that phase like 3 times to get like finally get that wing down. Yeah.
Most of my so I don't think I failed during the actual jetpack part. All the times I failed was actually getting to the end where you're jumping, trying to get to the last bit of them.
Yeah.
Oh,
The platforming
really?
there, that's where I had a lot of trouble with like the circle button and stuff for me.
So you're okay with the first section jetpack, and you just shoot at him.
Yeah.
And then the second stage, you dodge his rings, which
Yeah. I had to. I think maybe one of the times I failed was that time because I got hit because I just didn't know what you were
What, the
supposed to
rings?
do.
Yeah, same. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then after that, like, yeah, I didn't have a problem.
Did you feel like the rings are aimed and then they pivot,
Yeah, at the very end.
and then they kind of, in my opinion, they kind of shifted a little.
Oh,
I don't know. And then again, that might be a camera thing for me.
Maybe.
But it seemed like they would shift either like downwards or like down and
Interesting.
right.
Oh yeah, I just was like, I just need to be in one of. I just divided the screen into 3 parts. It's like as long as I'm in the left part or the middle part or the right part, I'm good. I didn't think about like having to shift after it's spun.
No, I was like trying to
Always
get in that
there,
hitbox every time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's the best boss. I would put this over the Ruby boss. As cool as the Ruby boss was, this was I think it was a very good final boss
for
fight.
sure.
It had multiple phases.
Yeah.
Like that weren't the same. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Okay,
they had
yeah.
like had multiple phases. Like they had one thing, and then you're doing something completely different, and then you're doing something, and then you got a platforming section at the end. So,
Yeah,
I think it was the best.
I think the platforming for me, the reason it was so tough because I guess maybe I wasn't seeing the blue sparkles easily enough because there was a lot of times there was
Yeah.
a section where you're
Yeah.
jumping on the poles and then there's a part where you have to get on the side and go around
sneak
the circle.
around,
I
yeah.
jumped on top of the thing. I was like,
Mhm.
oh, I need to get on top of this, and I slid off.
I was
into the
about to
wall.
say you probably just slid down in the
Yeah.
wall, but yeah.
So like that was frustrating.
Yeah.
No, the one time I felt was in the platforming, and it is that literally at the last section where you get on the pipe to go underneath.
Yeah.
He didn't lock onto the pipe.
Yeah, I think
so,
that happened to me
yeah.
too, probably.
Yeah, but at the end you're just smacking that dude left and
I
right.
didn't enjoy the platforming because it was just like anticlimactic. It was like, oh, I'm just gonna stand here and
Yeah.
whack away.
Yeah, it was all right. It could have been a little longer, I think. It would have been cool. Like as a final.
I would have liked if they broke it up to maybe another section where you kind of hit it, and then when he's half off, his head flies somewhere else, and then you have another platforming where you maybe have to go vertically this
Yeah,
time.
like I
or
said,
something.
it was a little short. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Just kind of like a final gasp, but
Yeah.
it's not my favorite boss fight, but that was okay. Yeah,
he's totally dead.
Then we get him.
There's no way.
I mean,
Yeah.
his
He
head came
lives.
clean off. His head came clean off. I don't know how
I
there's
mean-
any way for him to come back.
I mean, this is kind of going ahead a little bit, but we get like a Marvel post credit.
the last cutscene, I guess, after we take it, and then there's that moment between Sly and
Yeah.
Carmelita, and pretty much kind of
Which is why I'm like
closing out
I'm-
the story.
I'm
Yeah.
behind the theory that he's just a machination of the mastermind. You know.
Well, maybe he like cloned himself. Maybe he has a bunch of androids of himself.
Right, he doesn't really. He does say, "I've been here for forever," and he doesn't really say what he did, but he
Yeah.
says what I think. What is his lines all about? Vengeance and something.
Just wanted to destroy the Cooper bloodline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just AI.
He took away the raccoonist pages so that Sly wouldn't be as powerful. But then Sly's like, that's not what makes us a good thief. We're good thieves. That's why we made the raccoonists.
Yeah, dude.
That's it.
Goes hard, man.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't
Made
need
me
no book.
cry.
Yeah, it's like we don't need no book. We made the book. You know.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
It's pretty sick.
yeah. So then Carmelita and Sly's truce ends. Pretty much, but there's more to that story for sure.
Yeah, dude. Sly laying it on thick, dude.
Oh yeah.
Smooth.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Then he talks about Bentley and Murray, in which
Yeah.
Murray did stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was disappointed. I was hoping it'd be like a team.
Yeah.
It'd feel more like a whole team effort. Like there'd be a Murray section. Like I think it would have been cool if they had like, Sly do a section,
Mhm.
and then it's like, oh, Bentley need to lock the door. Then you do the Bentley thing,
Yeah.
and then like maybe to the side there's like a muscle thing going on
Yeah.
or something. I think they could have done a little more with making it feel as like a team.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I mean, yeah, we did get the Bentley level, but
Yeah, I think they focused too much on the Carmelita, where that
Yeah.
was the team.
yeah, I think if we would have traded that for like a Murray,
Yeah.
I don't know,
An Avengers Assemble scene.
driving it. Yeah, exactly. I think they could have done something more like that, but it was good. It was good.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
okay.
How do we think this last chapter ranks against the others? Do we have a new favorite?
No, that's still
Yeah, I think I still like the third, the swamp.
Swamp's still my favorite.
the most?
I think the swamp and then this. I think I liked how tight it was. I like that tight it
I
was.
did like that it was. This is probably the shortest level, right?
I
There's no
agree.
hub
I think
world.
it's yeah.
Yeah.
I did like the direction of making everything chain together because I liked how it kind of flowed. You could kind of follow instead of just like, getting these MacGuffins, the keys every time.
Yeah.
There's
felt
actually like everything's building on each other.
It felt like one heist.
Right.
Like, it
Yeah,
was
I
like
like
one
that.
mission that everybody's doing. Yeah.
So that was cool. So I don't know. It's hard to think about would I be willing to give up like if we could go back and change the previous levels to be more like that, more streamlined or like not streamlined but
Just linear.
what's the word? Linear
progression?
and
Yeah.
following one after the other, or do we like the hub worlds? Was that actually additive to the experience?
Well,
I like the hub world.
I'm a bit. I think Luis and I might be a little tainted because we know. What comes after?
I like the hub worlds. I mean,
Yeah, I like the hub worlds. Yeah.
There's probably you're probably alluding to the future games, so I'm guessing in
Yeah.
future games there's more going on though in the hub worlds.
Yes.
Whereas in here, there's really not much.
they're right there. They're pretty small, and there's
The hub worlds are more alive and
Okay.
a lot more going on.
Okay.
I don't think I like the linear for the last one. I don't know.
See, I feel like I would have been like I love the hub worlds.
Yeah.
But I feel like I would have been like, okay, another
It would have felt like it
another
took too
hub
long.
world. Yeah. I
You'd
think it
lose
would
the
have dragged.
momentum.
Yeah, makes sense. I don't know. I think my issue was that maybe because it was so short. Maybe if it was a little longer, I would have been okay with
you're
it.
right. Maybe you're right. Yeah.
I guess we'll never know. But yeah, I like
You liked it? Yeah.
yeah, it's probably my number 2. I still don't know what my number
I
one
think
is.
it's my number
Probably- I think
3.
Mugshot might
Yeah.
still be winning
I
that
would-
for me.
I would
Mugshot?
say
Yeah.
Swamp, Clockwork, Russia, Clockwork, then Mugshot for me.
See, I'm not, definitely the swamp. Then Panda King. I like the Panda King.
Oh yeah, Panda King.
Yeah, I'd say that'd be probably my number
Panda
2.
King might be my number 2.
That's
Panda
my
King
number
might
2.
be number 1.
Yeah.
I'm not speaking
Hey,
English.
it's all
Yeah.
different.
I don't even know this is my number 3. Honestly, I don't know. It might be my number 4.
See, it's all different though.
Yeah.
It's all
I think
different.
Mugshot's better than this. And Raleigh, I think I just played Raleigh too much. I don't know. I think
Yeah.
it's just
I like the theme of Raleigh. I like the water and the pirate and the ocean and the stuff. But
Yeah.
maybe it's just too hard to compare it since it's the first one.
Yeah.
But yeah, good stuff. Good game.
Yeah.
did you okay, so no bottles in this last one.
No bottles.
Oh yeah.
It ends with, you play out the scene and then the credits roll.
Yeah.
Murray has like a dream about
So-
Clockwork, I think, a
Right.
nightmare. and-
So
Okay.
then-
See, I didn't get this.
After
you
the
didn't get that?
credits, it shows Clockwork's face, and
Yeah.
it shows his eye. It shows
Oh,
pretty much him booting back up.
I got that.
Oh, you did get
But
that?
was there something different if you got all the pages?
There was a new scene, so I went back after finishing the level and went to the last vault and got the final vault.
So
Okay.
yeah, in the Panda Kings,
Yeah.
it
It's
says you have to come
actually-
back afterwards.
Oh,
I
well,
was
see,
gonna
I
ask.
missed some in. What was the one before this?
Panda King.
Oh, it was
China.
Panic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I missed some there,
yeah.
Yeah,
so I didn't get all of them there. So
I don't have any, so I was wondering. Yeah.
So the
what's-
last vault. So it's interesting. I was like looked it up and was surprised to find that the person in the video going to the last vault was a different level than me. So I think what happens is it just tracks like the contents of a vault are not tied to the level that vault's in. It's more determined by which number vault it is for you. So like, is this your 5th vault of this level? Then this is what's going to be in it. So for me, and like the last vault, I think is always the same contents. It's like a flashbang, I think, that like stuns all guards, and they say stuns all guards in the level. So I don't know if that means just everywhere in the entire level or just only in like your little area. But that seems like
would
a
be
good
wild.
speed run utility.
yeah, Yeah.
So, which I wanted to say, I feel like all the special abilities, I feel like that's what they're there for, is the speed running aspect, finding if there's a use to make it. a
Well,
little
they
quicker
have
to
the
get
time
through.
trials, which
Right, that's what I mean, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
those
so
are-
maybe the completionist mindset wasn't the way to go. Maybe it was like finish the game,
yeah.
get everything, and then you can go back and try the time trials.
Yeah,
Maybe that
which I
was
did
the
still have
purpose
not
of it.
done. I did not do any of them. But
I mean, they're
only-
hard.
I only
Yeah.
tried that first one, and yeah, it was rough. I
They're hard.
could
Yeah.
not get it.
But yeah, there is a special scene that plays when you get all the vaults open. I don't think. I'm trying to remember if anything. I can't remember it. So I don't. I guess there was nothing super crazy information in there.
Hmm.
So, but the credits roll again. So then you get the Clockwork surprise again.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, like the.
there's more. I looked
They're
in
just hinting at
I looked in.
you know?
I looked in Bentley's computer though. There was like 3 more videos that I hadn't unlocked.
Oh.
I'm assuming one of them is for getting all the time trials, but that would leave like 1 or 2 more. So I was
Yeah.
like, "What is that?"
Oh yeah. Did you get the Japanese?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. that was really cool. Like
Yeah.
even the art, the characters looked a little
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
They
So-
play like an anime version of the end
Yeah,
credits.
yeah.
Yep,
I
yep,
thought
yep,
that was
yeah.
pretty cool. I
I
enjoyed that.
I enjoyed that. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
fun.
That was
You
neat.
know, alternate universe almost kind of deal. It's cool.
But yeah, so I guess we haven't 100% of this game if we didn't get to do all the time trials. But you know what? It's good enough for me.
I think we did enough to properly break it down.
With me not doing any bottles, I think at the very end, I think it's like 68% of the game is done. Is what it said.
I think I was at like 84.
Yeah.
Okay, and you did most of the bottles, so I guess
Most of the bottles, yeah,
20% for the bottles, 20% for the time trials, which
Yeah.
time trials are. I don't know how those. Are.
Yeah, I don't. If I'm gonna play another game,
You gotta be dedicated to get that dev commentary though.
yeah.
Speaking of which, I have watched some of the dev commentary
Nice.
and I took some notes.
Cool.
If you guys want, we can
Some
go
fun
through
facts.
some fun facts here. One of the first things they were talking about that took a lot of work, which makes sense, is like the lighting and trying to get the shadows and everything to look right, but also not make it just like dark where you can't see anything. So they still wanted the levels to be like bright or like bright enough to be able to see and everything.
Yeah.
But they wanted it to feel like it's nighttime. And I wanted to ask you guys if you feel like they execute on that or
Yeah.
not. You think they accomplished that goal?
I mean, probably more so on the first level. First level was like, well, I guess in the swamp too.
Yeah, I was trying to think of the mud trucks level. If it's, I thought it was daytime in that one, or maybe I'm just.
It's definitely at least dusk. It's not
Yeah.
like super bright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thinking back, I think they
I think they did a good job.
yeah.
Yeah, they definitely
I didn't
spent
have
a lot
a
of time on it.
problem with darkness or anything like
Yeah,
that.
apparently they went through like 3 different lighting engines
Whew.
to nail it down to get the right
yeah,
feel.
yeah, I
So,
bet you that's
and they
tiring.
spent a lot of time like on. They used the first level, the rallies, that like the opening area and rallies level. They used that as like the test bed
Oh, okay.
for even getting like all the animations of like the jump height and everything down. So like they remade
that
that
was, like,
level like
their-
several times.
Oh, okay.
So then that's the blueprint they used for like, oh, how high should a jump be? How far, whatever, blah, blah, blah. For all the other levels. So that was kind of cool
Yeah,
to
to
hear.
base all the platforming off of. That's
So that
cool.
first level went through a lot of iterations.
That's interesting. Yeah.
The clue bottles were originally loot bags that would actually have physics interactions where they'd like roll around and stuff. So like if you broke it open, the loot bag would drop. And if it was on an incline, it would just start rolling.
Oh, no
And they
way.
realized there was some funny interactions because of that.
Yeah. I was about to say, it's probably hard to do for different environments too. Like if one was on a slope or if one was
Yeah.
it's probably a bit
Speaking-
much.
Yeah. Speaking of physics, so there was a lot of cool like physics things in this game, you know, like with the floating water and things. But they found the developers found that they had to usually isolate any physics stuff to like ambient environmental stuff where like NPCs and enemies would not interact. So like one of the Raleigh levels, they said that was like the shipwreck one where you're like inside a room, but it's like flooded and there's like parts they were going to have a fish swimming around to like chase you or like be on your case so you didn't take too long.
Yeah.
But it trying to interact with like the floating things in the water like just bugged out. They couldn't get it to act in a predictable way. So they just ended up not.
Yeah.
They scrapped that.
Man, it's cool they were trying
Yeah.
things, you know. Yeah.
So it's cool that they have the physics stuff, but like all the enemies and all the items, they're all static. They're not, interacting with the physics except for you when you're jumping on the objects.
Interesting.
So that was interesting
cool.
to hear about. The crab shooty level, we're getting back to that. They discovered, so originally there's like that rock in the middle. Originally that rock was not there, and players would just go to the middle and just shoot in circles. Like they didn't move at all. Yeah, playtesters broke it. So then they put the rock in there, and that's what forces you to move around. So it makes it a lot more dynamic.
That's a good point.
So I thought that was cool.
Cool.
Another thing I liked was them talking about how they designed the security systems with like the lasers and everything. They had like the how the lasers and lights worked, where if a laser hit you the first time, it didn't hurt you anything, but then it set off the alarm and then it dealt damage to you. I think originally they were talking about it was just going to be a laser the whole time. Like if you touched it, you got hurt.
Yeah.
But then they made it this way so that you don't get hurt. And
think
I
that was
like
the
that
right
a lot
decision.
better, because then not only do you make it a little bit easier for players to get used to those sections or like practice them, you also get the added tension when the alarms do go off, and you still have to you keep going. It's not just an immediate fail state.
Yeah.
Now you're like, oh, the tension's up. I got to avoid these even more now because they'll hurt me.
I think that was a great idea.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
I wonder if they would have made it faster, or like for some of the ones, like once you hit the alarm, not only does you can die now, but it ramps up the difficulty like a little bit.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting.
That would have been. They did talk about how they wanted, so in a lot of cases, like the security systems, you could just brute force and just run straight through and like not even have to interact with much of it. And they said in some ways they liked that because it, be more approachable for new players, as well as, but most players, when they see that, they're going to get really nervous, like, oh, how am I going to get past all these traps? But it's really not that hard. So they like that kind of balance of making it feel hard, but not actually being difficult to do those, get past those things. So that was cool. The hover scooter. So originally Murray was going to be a lot different. He was not going to be the driver. They were trying to figure out what his stick would be. And the first thing they come up with is he was going to be like the gun guy. He would just have like guns and bazookas and everything.
So it's still the muscle,
right?
Quote.
So they wanted to be the
Braun,
big guy, but they're like, how are we going to get him involved? So, he'll be the gun guy. So like all the scooter levels were originally going to be Murray levels, where you're just running around as Murray with a gun shooting.
Huh.
And for a few reasons, they didn't like that. One, it didn't really mesh with Murray's vibe. He's like this goofy guy, but all of a sudden he's got a machine gun.
Sitting there, shooting.
Didn't make much sense.
Yeah.
And then also like the mechanics of the levels, you had to be pretty agile and also be able to like turn on a swivel, like rotate really fast to shoot stuff behind you.
Okay.
So it ended up just
That
making more
doesn't-
sense that it was like a hovering tank thing that
Yeah.
could spin around a lot faster. So
Very cool.
that was interesting.
I still wish they could have
Done something.
found something
Yeah.
with them, but
Yeah. So then talking about Murray again with the shooting levels where you're covering him. Originally they were gonna let the player decide like the zoom. So like one stick would aim, the other stick would zoom in and out, and they found that was too difficult. Just trying to track where Murray was at any given moment.
like you were controlling the camera.
Like you were controlling the zoom. As well. So like you think, oh, that's good. I want to have more control, but they found, I guess this is probably back in the day, when they're having mostly kids playing the game or, not experienced with games and stuff. They'd find, someone would be zoomed off somewhere. Murray would die and they'd have no idea how he died. So it'd be frustrating. They couldn't learn from that experience. So then they played with, maybe it's just a snap zoom. You zoom in, click the stick to zoom in, click the stick to zoom out. So there's only two modes instead of like a scale or sliding scope. And that was also, it was better, but still too difficult. So they finally landed on the auto zoom, where their intention was to always have Murray in the frame. So like if you move the cursor away from Murray, it would zoom out, and if you got closer to him, it would zoom in.
Okay.
So they like that balance the most,
It makes sense.
of being able to just track Murray's position and also be able to see the threats and stuff, which, as we mentioned, wasn't always the case, because if you're zoomed in on Murray too much, or whoever you're covering is,
You can't really.
you can't see like behind him or something. But
Yeah, I have to
think-
like go backwards to
yeah, I think for the most part it worked though, so it was interesting. And then one other thing, or not one other thing, but a couple other things, the side scroller level, which I think was one of your favorite levels, Aiden, in the mugshot place where you're like jumping on
going to the towers. Yeah.
the awnings and
Yeah.
the AC units. Apparently, Sony originally was worried about this level because they thought it felt too retro. Like, oh, we're supposed to have this cool 3D game, but now you're making it a 2D side scroller. Like, why would you do that? So, like, the devs were getting put to the question on like why they made a
Interesting.
level like that. So
I don't think there's another
That's
level
the
like
only
that.
one.
yeah, so maybe they got dissuaded from making more levels like that.
Dang,
But
that's unfortunate.
it was cool. They talked about how they liked making it though.
Yeah, that was a cool level.
And they had to like alter some of the enemies so that it would make sense for their like animations and attacks to be from a side scroller perspective. So like the I think one of the jailbreak dogs with like
the chain,
ball and chain, they had to like mirror him so that he could use his other hand to throw it so that it would make sense. So he's not like it's not hitting the wall as he's standing against the wall.
Yeah. So, hey, attention to detail.
Some cool things. And then finally, this one was interesting. They talked about how they were going to use a different control scheme for the platforming where, so this is talking about like all the blue sparkly parts. It's like if you're trying to land on a rail to either walk on or slide, you'd hit the circle button. But if you were trying to grab something with your hook, like one of the vertical pipes or something, you'd press a different button. So it would like mix up and make it more challenging.
Oh man!
But they found like for the snake level where the snake is chasing, that it was just way too overwhelming to like figure out. Oh, okay, I got to press circle then triangle then circle.
Yeah, they've been stressful.
So they just ended up making it all one button. But yeah,
good choice.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch all the dev commentary, but there was a lot of cool nuggets there. I'm sure there's more. So
I have to go back and check some of that out.
Yeah, listeners definitely look into that. There's some cool things to see.
Nice.
But yeah, I think any other notes?
No, man. I just had just a section here about overall thoughts. We were talking, how we did an intro thing at the very beginning. And the game was, let me scroll back here. The game was sitting at an 86 on Metacritic. So, after playing, would you say it should be higher or lower?
I'd probably give it a solid 80.
Okay.
Yeah, I would put it lower.
I think I'd put it a little lower as well.
I'd probably put it in the 70s range somewhere, but
it's hard trying to compare it to current day games.
That also the issue is this game's not really for us.
Yeah, it's not for younger.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
We're not the demographics that we're aiming for.
I think I set it around at a 7 out of 10 kind of deal, somewhere in there. Platforming was a little stiff.
The camera, honestly,
stuff.
that really did it for me on this last area.
There's no real stealth elements.
No.
I mean, there are, but they're not.
Very optional.
It's not a gameplay
right
must. The mini games, for the most part, didn't really do it for me. There were some good ones.
Yeah.
That I don't remember if they continue on some of them. Like they use some of them in future games. But yeah, most of the mini games didn't really do it for me. But on the good side, the charm of this game is like 11 out of 10.
Oh yeah,
it's got great charm, vibe and everything. It's great, and I think they do a very, very good job of like establishing the IP because you got to think this is a brand new IP.
Oh yeah,
there's a small team, very
small
budget.
Yeah. So for what, and it sold million plus copies.
Right. Yeah.
So like, given all that, I think they did a great job. I think it's a good video game, and I'm glad it sold well.
Oh yeah, it's definitely really cool idea, very cool art direction and style.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I like it, and compared to similar games, if someone asked me if they should play this, I would recommend it just because of how they build on it. Like maybe this first game might be a little rough, but
I think once you get
the IP itself, they did a really good job.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
I remember being a kid, a Nintendo Xbox kid, and always being jealous because like I always wanted to play Sly Cooper. It looked so cool. So yeah, it all adds up.
Yep. Hey, it only gets better.
Oh yeah. So yeah, maybe someday. Stay tuned, listeners. Maybe someday we'll be hitting Sly Cooper too. Just be patient with us. We got a huge backlog.
Yeah, it
keeps
it's
growing.
big, Yep. So
But yeah, we'll get there someday.
one at a time.
I'm definitely excited to play it someday. So yeah, it's definitely on the list. So,
Yeah.
all right. Anything else?
I think we're good.
All right. Thanks everyone for listening. Catch you next time. Bye.